So I'm going to talk about collaborative aspects of Copilot today. Copilot is an add-on on top of Office 365. Which Office 365, whether it is Business Basic, Business Premium, Business Standard, or E1, E3, E5, it doesn't matter. On any type of Office 365, you can have Copilot as an add-on. Another aspect I want to clarify is many people who are thinking of Copilot know that behind the scenes, Copilot uses ChatGPT. And ChatGPT is another organization, OpenAI. So people are worried as to if I use Copilot with my data, will it go to OpenAI? So let me clarify that first. So when we have Copilot, it does use the large language model, which is ChatGPT, latest one, but it is installed on Microsoft's data center. It's a private instance of ChatGPT. So nothing goes to the public version of ChatGPT, and all the security, compliance, privacy policies which your team has configured internally will be followed. So nothing goes out of your Microsoft tenant, not just Microsoft data center. Whichever geolocation you have chosen, it will stay within those boundaries. Now, having said that, the word Copilot itself has two meanings in that sense. We think there is a Microsoft Copilot and there is ChatGPT. No. Microsoft Copilot itself has two editions. One is the public version of Copilot, where you go to copilot.microsoft.com and you don't really need a Copilot license per se. And then there is a proper Copilot where you have to have Microsoft 365 Copilot. So if you go to Microsoft 365 Copilot, this is the internal facing Copilot. Means it has full access to your data, your mails, your chats, your meetings, everything. Plus, it has all the capabilities of ChatGPT. So best of both worlds with security. But on the other hand, if you go to copilot.microsoft.com, this is also Copilot. And here, there are two tabs, Work and Web. Work is exactly what I showed you right now. And Web is the public version of Copilot. There you will see your everyday AI companion. So whatever you put here is going to use the public version of ChatGPT. Now, why would you want to use it? Because you already have the Microsoft 365 Secure Copilot. Reason is some capabilities which have not yet come to M365 Copilot, those you can continue to use here. An important thing to understand here is this Copilot, you should log in using your corporate Office 365 Azure AD or Entra ID. If you do that, you will see this button here, which is called Commercial Data Protection. It will show protected. What does that mean? This is still better than directly going to ChatGPT and doing your prompting. Why? Because if you put some corporate data here, even that data is protected. It will not be saved. It will not be used for training and so on. So just to clarify the difference between all these, I'm going to show you a slide. What we are going to focus on today is Microsoft 365 Copilot, which has full access to your data. The free Copilot and ChatGPT obviously have no access to your data. And if you put data there, your corporate policies will still be applied in both Copilots, obviously not in ChatGPT. So that's the difference. Now, coming to Copilot. Copilot is rendered or available in many different places. One of them I already showed you. If you go to office.com and then you will see a Copilot button right here. So this is the chat version of Copilot. So this is Home, which is Office 365 Home. In that you will see Copilot button, which is the M365 Copilot Chat. This is typically used when you want to do something with all your data, and you can even refer to your files from here. Up to 5 files can be given as a reference here. Now, in addition to that, as you know, Microsoft 365 has many capabilities. So we use it to create stuff, store it, collaborate, execute, analyze, and so on. And under each of these, there are multiple products available. So all this together is Microsoft 365. And Copilot is infused in many of those tools. So this list is growing, as we know, but as of now, it has these many tools. And as we speak, probably almost every week, new things come in terms of new features, new capabilities, and Copilot arrives in new products as well. So we are going to focus on the collaborative aspects. Now, when we talk about collaboration, essentially we're talking about Outlook, Teams, Loop, Whiteboard, and maybe some automation and Power Apps. So let's get started with Outlook, because every day, whenever we start our day, we go to email and try to search for stuff. Now, the idea is simple. It is going to work on your data, and that's a very common concern. Does Copilot being introduced in my organization require me to do some extra security settings? No, not really, because I am logged in as a user. IT has already configured, as per policies, what I as a user should have access to. Could be intranet sites, departmental SharePoint, Teams, email, OneDrive, and so on. Exactly the same access Copilot is going to use. So when Copilot is accessing data, it is using it like you, who is the logged in user. So whatever I have access to, Copilot has access to. Whatever I don't have access to, Copilot does not have access to. So in that sense, no special thing has to be done to make Copilot not look at something. That's a very important thing to understand. Now, when we talk about email, of course, there are two aspects. One is creating and sending mails, and other one is replying to mails. That is very easily managed, because when you go to Copilot, it allows you to summarize mails very quickly. So I'm going to ask Copilot to summarize my mails. Typically, people who have been using Copilot, that's their first action probably every day. So what do you ask Copilot to do? Summarize my mails for today. Now, does it mean it has to be today? No, it can be today. You can give any time frame, and you need not be open-ended. You can even say, summarize mails from a specific customer or a specific topic or a time period or a mix of the two. Now, when you are doing that, usually what you will do is, generally you will go to Outlook, some version of Outlook, and in Outlook you will do search. And when you do search in Outlook, typically you will go from top to bottom, sorted in descending order, and eyeball the mails. And that takes time. Now, maybe you have missed some mails which came much earlier, and then you have to again eyeball them. Another problem is if there are multiple mails far away from each other, but they are related, it's a mail trail. By the time you reach the second version of the mail trail, you have already forgotten what was there in the first. So even though we do search every day, it's a more laborious activity. So if I go to Copilot and ask Copilot for something, then it will simply eliminate the need for me to eyeball every mail or search and then eyeball it and correlate. So I can give a prompt like summarize Now, of course, spelling mistakes don't matter because Copilot means ChatGPT, which means it knows all languages and all words in all languages. So you don't have to bother. And this is going to give me a concise list of things which I should be looking at. So each one of them has a reference there. And if I click on it, it's going to tell me, open that context, whatever that context might be. So I can respond from here. I can open documents from here. I can go to a chat from here. So earlier I would have to go to chat separately and email separately. And that's why when you go to the home tab, there are so many apps we are looking at. Whereas here in one app, it has looked at communication, which means not just email. It also looked at attachments which came in email. It looked at chats and channels. So it's better than whatever we have been doing earlier. Now, this summarization context can be continued. So if I find a mail about Copilot and I want to know the whole history of that, I can ask it to expand as well. So this is a collection of items and I'm asking Copilot to summarize. So that's one kind of work Copilot does. Now, when you talk about email replies, you know what happens. There are a lot of long mail trails. Very often, if you are a senior person, more emails you are going to get and more CCs you are going to get, because everyone down the line wants to be safe, saying, I informed you. Whether you're reading those mails or not, nobody really cares. And the more senior you are, the more workload of this CC kind of mail trails you are going to have. Now, if there is a mail trail which is long and confusing, and you have not really been paying attention because there was nothing actionable there, but suddenly it has been escalated to you because something is not happening, some dispute, some difference of opinion, some decision which only you can do. Now, at that point, you have to read that email from bottom to top because it's a long mail trail by now. You have not been following up really. At that time, reading from bottom to top is very painful, laborious, and confusing also, because when you're scrolling from bottom to top, you don't even know where the next mail is going to start. And then people reply to all. It's really confusing. So that's where Copilot shines. Whenever you go to a mail, open it, you will see Summarize by Copilot option. Now you'll ask me, where is this available? It is available in all versions of Outlook. That means mobile apps, yes. Browser, yes. Outlook desktop, Mac, yes. Earlier, there was a problem because the old version of Outlook, which still majority of people are using, did not have Copilot functionality. Now it has, so nothing to worry. Whether old Copilot or the old or new Outlook, this is there. So all that I have to do is ask Summarize by Copilot. Click on that button and it will nicely give you a summary. Zero scrolling. Irrespective of how long the mail trail is, it's very smart at summarizing it. So this is a dispute which is going on between two airlines. There was a dispute. The lakhs of rupees are stuck and I'm asking for either credits or refund or some remedy. And that's not happening. So one click and look at what it says. It has actually understood what has happened over 3 months and given me 4-5 lines summarizing this, saying this is what you need to do. This is not actionable yet. This is a summary. Why? Because I asked for a summary. Now, usually if it's a long mail trail and you're looking at the summary, you're not just looking at it because you have nothing else to do. You have to take action. If that is the case and you want to not even spend time looking at the summary, you have never looked at the mail trail, but you are forced to take an action now, you can simply click on the reply button as well. Why? Because when you click on the reply button, Copilot understands that this is a long mail trail. It goes through it. It also thinks what are the possible courses of action available to you. And then it will actually suggest those actions directly. So this is one variation, Summarize. The other variation is the same mail trail. I directly clicked on reply and notice what it has done. There are two airlines involved. It's saying either escalate to the other one because this one is not responding, or demand refund, which I have already done, but it is still in progress, or file a consumer complaint as a last resort. So it actually understood what is the context and it's suggesting genuinely useful suggestions or action items. And if I click on this, this is going to create the text for that complaint as well. So this is not just time saving. This is real empowerment. It's not only saving the drudgery, but it's also making my life so much more productive, actionable, and more effective. So whenever we are evaluating, I'll show you a calculator of how to do that. But don't just talk about time saving. Look at the improvement in quality of whatever you do. It's genuinely less effort, more impact. Or do more with less, which is the Microsoft tagline. It's not just a branding tagline. It actually is implemented here. And all other features of the platform. So that's the summarization context. Now, the other aspect is I am drafting a mail and I need help. So let's do that. I'm going to go to mailbox and ask it to draft a mail for me. When that is happening, remember, many people have this concern in their mind. I am an engineer, I am a psychologist, I am HR, whatever industry I am from, I am an expert in this field. Does Copilot understand my field? So you don't have to worry about that because it's ChatGPT behind the scenes, right? So it's going to take advantage of all the knowledge ChatGPT has imbibed over across whatever is publicly available on internet. And it also has the context of all your files, emails, and data. So literally best of both worlds. So don't have doubt whether it understands the topic of your interest or your domain. So let's look at an email. I'm going to ask it to generate an email. So right here, you will see draft with Copilot. And now I can ask for any subject. So I'm going to ask it to generate an email. Now, whenever you're giving the prompt, you must have heard a lot of hype about the prompt engineering part. But in simple terms, basic thing you have to understand, the fundamental is from a topic point of view, there is nothing new as far as ChatGPT is concerned. It understands all topics in the world, but it absolutely does not understand what you want. And that is why we have to give enough level of detail. Now, enough level of detail doesn't just mean a verbose prompt. It means few things, like what do I want? I want an invite. Okay, invite for what? Which audience? Is it student? Is it leadership? So specify the target audience. Then specify the context. Invite for what purpose? And then if I just say efficiency transformation, efficiency could mean completely different things in individual industries or domains, or even within the company. Different departments have different definition of efficiency. So I have specified in the context of Microsoft 365. So that's how you give enough context. And then because it's email communication is only effective if the other party reads it. So you have to choose the correct way to communicate. And this is where collaboration suffers, because we always are communicating using email. In fact, we are overusing email nowadays because we don't know there are better ways available. I will show you in the next section. But if your communication is not effective, then the effort you have spent in creating the mail is wasted. Those who are into marketing, you know how small is the percentage of mailers conversion. So here it is allowing me to choose the tone and how long I want it to be. So unless there is a very specific reason, obviously you're never going to choose long, because even short mails are not read nowadays. I'll keep it to medium, and it is leadership, so I'll keep it formal. Of course, I don't want to make a poem yet. So now it's actually doing this job. I have second thoughts now. I think I missed something. I should have asked it to put a list of topics as well, but never mind. Now it has already created this. It is giving a nice description, streamline workflows, protege, collaboration. Very nice. Now I missed adding the list of topics. It is only talking about collaboration as well. So I'm saying also add topics, and in addition to adding topics, also add something about analytics. So now it's going to refine its approach and do it. It has not yet added the list the way I wanted. So now I have to be more explicit. So although this is AI and all that, there is iteration involved, and many people who are new to Gen AI don't understand it. Because remember, traditionally we have been using software in a very different manner. Most of the software has menus like this. They see hundreds of menus, options, drop downs, and you just choose what you want. Whereas here, you just go get one text box. But that text box is all powerful. So you have to use that in an iterative manner till you know exactly how to extract the correct output from the system. And the system is also evolving. So some iteration is bound to be there. Rather than getting discouraged by it, you should learn the finesse. And over a period of time, I'm sure you will have very productive experience. So this is one way of doing it. Now I can keep it, discard it, retry, and I can go on like that. Now, one of the concerns people have in this context is this dumbing me down? If I am going to conduct the session, shouldn't I be giving the topic list? Yes, sure. So if that is the concern, rest assured, this is only one part of Copilot. If you want, it will draft it for you. It did not force you to draft. Obviously, if you have the topic list, asking Copilot to draft it is not going to yield your topic list, because what topics I have chosen, that is based on 35 years of experience. Copilot, however much it knows about the world, doesn't know about your experience. So if you have something, you don't ask Copilot to do it. You give whatever you have to Copilot and then ask Copilot to refine it. So that concern that is Copilot dumbing me down is absolutely unfounded. The problem is typically when Gen AI demos are given, because it is generative AI, most of the demos focus on creating content from scratch. But in real life, that need not be the case. I already have a document. Based on that, you can create it. That document is created by you. Or you have a list you have written somewhere, and we want to ask Copilot to do that. So let's see one more example. I'm going to say discard. So I'm back to my empty mail right now. And let me copy paste some list of topics from somewhere. So let's go here, and I'm just copy pasting a random list. So I'm saying Excel and Power BI training hands-on for leaders. And I'm going to paste it. It's not even formatted properly, right? So I have just pasted it, and I'm just going to paste it as text. It's not formatted. Never mind. We are only talking about text right now. Now I want Copilot to refine this list. That's called coaching by Copilot. So here, it's not dumbing me down. It's looking at whatever I've written, and it'll tell me if I can improve it in some way or the other. So Copilot, drop down, coaching by Copilot. Now it's analyzing what I've written. It's not going to rewrite it. It's going to give me suggestions of improving if it finds any. So let's see what it tells me. Now, obviously, I just copy pasted a bulleted list. If I send a mail like that, that's obviously not a good idea. So it's saying the language should be engaging. There's just a list. So email effectively lists the topics, clear structure. However, it can be more engaging. So it's not just giving me a generic gyan and leaving it at that. It's giving me suggestions. And those suggestions are from where? They are in the context of, right? In the context of what I've written. So explore VH VLOOKUP is text picked up from my context. So that's good. Then it's saying inspire reader involvement, because here there is nothing to attract the reader other than the list. It's saying concise, it respects reader time, but they have to be more involved. So kuch to dalo. So it is saying we instead of I. Very nice. Feel free to suggest topics, because I'm forcing these topics. I didn't even ask for inputs from the leaders. And so on. And then third one is clarity. It's saying topics are listed, clear agenda, however, group them. I have just given 18 topics. And that's, even someone looks at that, they'll get put off. Put some group. So even if they don't read 18 topics, they'll at least know, see this, how intelligently it has done. What I had written were 3 to 4 different topics in different places in the list, and they were all related to data quality. And it has combined them together. So it's not dumbing me down. It's helping me reorganize my thoughts and making my communication achieve whatever a purpose I was doing it for. So that's how Copilot can be used for improving whatever you do. All right. So now that was about emails. Now let's move to another very common collaborative activity we do, which is meetings. Now, if I ask you where meetings happen, everyone will say, I do meetings in calendar. So calendar, yes, we block time in calendar and then do the meeting. That meeting may happen in Teams, I'm assuming, because you're attending a Microsoft session, but it need not be. Your customer can send you a Zoom link, or you may have a mix of WebEx and Teams, whatever. Some teams like software. So is this at least the complete answer? No, unfortunately not. So meetings are part of life. They have been happening for decades. But absolutely, they are not efficient from any which way we look at. Why? Because this is not the whole story of the meeting. Yes, meeting is blocked here and executes in some meeting software, but all these things need to be managed. Even before the meeting, agenda needs to be sent and someone needs to collaborate on that. Because important meetings, there will be a lot of important people attending, long agenda, and obviously first draft agenda, nobody is going to agree to. There will be negotiation around it. How will that happen? Only the organizer can change the actual text of the agenda. So people are going to reply all to each other and discuss, fight, debate that agenda. That's email, by the way, inbox. Same way, if I am the speaker and I have to send some collaterals, pre-read, again, I'm going to reply all to that calendar request and send that attachment. And then people obviously going to not notice it and they're going to come to the meeting without reading whatever I had asked them to read. And then I'm going to waste further time. All of this is very commonplace. You have experienced it every day. Notes will be taken during the meeting, but individually. Some person may be formally assigned to take minutes, but even those minutes are going to arrive after the meeting is over. And if there is ambiguity, it will be discovered, if at all, much later. Again, inefficient. Action items will again come afterwards in attachment, Excel file. Updates will go in another update of the Excel file. All of this is happening in inbox. So meeting is only namesake, that calendar is just helplessly sitting there. All these mails have nothing to do with that calendar entry in real life. There is no link. And hundreds of meetings we attend, thousands of mails we get, and life goes on inefficiently. Global problem. It doesn't matter which meeting software you use, life remains same. So this is the opportunity for us to revolutionize this process. How do you revolutionize this process? By using Teams. Because all the things which I talked about earlier, what did I talk about earlier? So many things which are otherwise happening on Teams, so many things which are happening outside the meeting and outside Teams can now happen inside Teams. So the revolution which I'm talking about is, if you use this platform well, about meetings, you will stop getting emails. So meetings without emails. That's the revolution. So how do you go about doing it? And where is Copilot in all this? Let's see. So the first thing to understand is, when you have meetings, you go to calendar and create a meeting. Fair enough. But when you are creating a meeting, there's one extra thing to be done. Right now, I am in Outlook. You create a meeting in Outlook, add a Teams meeting to it, and it will get synchronized with the Teams calendar. Fair enough. But usually we don't go to the Teams calendar. So now I'm going to show you, ideally, you should go to Teams calendar. Even if you arrange the meeting in Outlook, in the Teams calendar, there is some special thing you can do. So I go to calendar. Now, here I'm directly creating the meeting. Today is 11th. And assume this meeting was already created in Outlook. So this thing will have got synced anyway. But the reason I came here is because here there is a very special thing. Hopefully it will come in Outlook also soon, but you don't have to wait. Because why wait for revolution? Click on that add meeting notes. And now I can actually add the agenda here. So what is the agenda? Well, I am the organizer. Obviously, I know the agenda. So I'm going to put the agenda here rather than in the Outlook. Why? You will see soon. So Copilot and collaboration, whatever is the agenda. Now, the difference between Outlook hard-coded agenda and this is, when I send it to people, this is editable by everyone. This is a loop component. I'll explain what loop is shortly. But this is a loop component. And the benefit of that is, even before we started the meeting, collaboration has started. And if someone has a problem with the agenda, they can edit it themselves without sending reply to all. So already we have started eliminating emails, right? And even before the meeting has started, there is a chat with participants option, which many people have never explored. So if I want to do a poll, I want to upload a file for people to read. All of that you can do here. So right now I've not started the meeting. I'm going to say chat with participants. So now what is going to happen here? Here, the meeting which is not yet started has file section. I can upload my file here and I can discuss. I can do a poll. This plus sign allows you to add many different types of apps. And that's another benefit of Teams. You're not limited to what Teams has to offer. Many Microsoft and third-party apps integrate with this. One of the commonest you should add here is polls, forms. So you can do polls before, during, or after the meeting. So bottom line, even before the meeting started, everything has started to become streamlined. All right. Now let's move on. Now meeting is in progress. This meeting where you are listening to me is a Teams meeting. But in parallel, I have also started another meeting. And that meeting is also on Teams. So you'll ask me, and why did I do that? Because I want to give a demo of some of the Teams capabilities. But I'm already on a Teams meeting. How can I start another meeting? I'm sure you know that part already. Simple concept. This particular Teams meeting, which I have currently joined, this one, where I'm talking right now, is in a browser. And then I have my Teams desktop. There, I have started another meeting. I have joined that meeting. You see, the agenda has already come up. Now, this agenda is not the thing which is written in Outlook. This agenda is what is happening here. So while this is happening, anybody joins this meeting, whether they have read the agenda or not, doesn't matter. Agenda comes to fore automatically. This is a regular meeting. There is a chat and so on. So if anybody wants to know what is happening, agenda comes automatically. So someone else wants to add new item here, no problem. They can add. This is loop component. Loop means collaborative editing space. So if by the time I joined, something was finished, that will also be marked as complete. Someone else will have done that. So now already my meeting has become better and better. The other part is meeting notes. But wait, there is an AI feature here, which is a part of Teams Premium, which many people don't know. Now, Teams Premium is very useful for top management meetings. And if your organization has multilingual meetings very often. So this is Nitin talking in this meeting. Let's say your organization is spread across multiple countries, or you have suppliers or customers across multiple countries, and they are not very fluent in your base language, in this case, English. Or even within India, you're addressing everyone, and everyone is not fluent in English. All kinds of scenarios. Now, this is one user, Nitin. Now I'm going to also log in as another user. This user is assistant. This user is in the same meeting, as you can see. Now here the transcript is coming. There's not really a transcript. This is called, what is this called? Language and speech live captions. So this person has already enabled live captions. Live captions are independent of transcript. Why are they two different things? Because transcript is controlled by organizer. But I, as a user, I want to read what people are saying. Why? Because maybe I don't have headphones and I can't switch on my speaker because I am in some other place. But I still want to hear. So this is a good use of what? This is not transcript. This is live captions. I can, independent of anybody else, enable it on my own. It's under my control. Now, the problem is I don't understand English. So now if you have premium, that is Teams Premium, only the organizer needs Team Premium, not attendees. I am an attendee right now. You see, caption language can be changed. So now from here, I'm going to change it to Hindi. And you'll see a lot of global languages are supported. Now I continue to speak in English, but this is getting live translated into whatever language the user has chosen. Now, as a speaker, as a person presenting, I don't know, I don't care which language individual person is choosing. It's completely transparent to me. So best of both worlds. This is AI in action. Now, while this meeting is going on, let's say I joined late and I want to know what has happened so far. There's a Copilot button. This is a very common problem. People come late and usually bosses come late. And when boss comes, people are going to be aware that boss has come. If a junior person comes late, nobody cares. But boss comes, there is an interruption and someone has to praise boss or what has happened so far. That's a waste of time for everyone. But no choice. Now there is a choice. So boss comes, attends, understands that a lot of meeting is missed. And then I go to Copilot, who individual person is going to Copilot and ask Copilot what has happened. So here, these are the suggested prompts. Very often you will see suggested prompts. That doesn't mean these are the only things it can do. It can do 1,000 other things. They are the most common use cases. So when you're learning Copilot, it's a good idea to look at existing suggested prompts. That gives you variety of what is possible, but do not limit your prompts to those. There's no upper limit to that. And when you receive this button, it's equally important to open it. Here, it gives you some other plugins. Right now, we have limited plugins, but there is a web plugin and more plugins are coming soon. Anyway, I'm going to ask what recap of the meeting so far. So without disturbing anyone, boss or junior doesn't really matter now. Anybody can recap. And this conversation I'm having with Copilot right now is private. Nobody is disturbed. Nobody knows this is happening. Now, does it mean only people who have joined late are going to benefit from this? No. Look at the Copilot summary. Let me see if it has done it properly. Yeah, quite good. Now, I don't have to be satisfied with it. I can ask other questions. I am not someone who joined late. Let's say I'm the organizer. I'm conducting the meeting. I am actively participating in the meeting. Then why would I want to use Copilot? Well, there are many reasons. In a complex meeting, there are a lot of agenda items. And as an organizer, it's my responsibility to make sure all agenda items are taken care of. So rather than mixing, I have the list of agenda items. I can even see it here. But have all these been discussed? How will I know? Yes, there is a transcript, but that transcript is verbatim. I'm not going to have the time and energy to go through it and figure out. You can ask Copilot, have all the agenda items been addressed? Or what are the pending items? It'll give you that summary instantly. So lots of use cases for every person attending the meeting. There could be other aspects also, saying there are some items which are agreed upon, some items which are disputed. So it will give you a list of disputed items. Even if there's a difference of opinion, it can even suggest what should be done. So here is another thing which is important about meetings. All this is going on notes. Now, I'm not saying don't take notes on your own. Typically, you'll do that in OneNote. But if you want people to agree upon certain things, it's equally important to take some notes which are shared. So the transcript, which is anyway going on, and the notes will be used by Copilot later also. But during the meeting, everyone is present. And during the meeting, some decisions, some consensus, some action items, ideas are going to be worked upon. So that part, we need to make sure everyone is in alignment with. So those parts at least we should put in meeting notes. So I'm going to say by 5% and some other things, whatever. And like this, everyone in the meeting can be taking notes. Now, not only is everyone capable of taking notes, they can also change the notes. And this is all called loop components, by the way. These are loop components. This is a loop component called checklist. This is a loop component for simple bulleted list. This is a loop component called task list. And as though this is not enough, you have multiple loop components. You go in this notes section, and in fact, even if you don't do anything, it's saying /. / allows you to put any other kind of loop component also. For example, in this meeting, this is June. I want July, August, September numbers from people who are attending this meeting. So if I put it in chat, everyone is going to reply to chat. I don't want that. What do I want? A proper table. So I'm going to put a table here and say month. And let's say pipeline. Now pipeline is what? Pipeline should be a number. So I can even change the column type to number It can be number, text, person, vote, label. Very good, versatile stuff. And now I can put whatever I want, say July, August. And this is interactive. This is collaborative. So this is Nitin. We have another user attending this meeting. That user will also be able to see those notes and whatever I have written here. And this person can change or add things. So here, this person can now type whatever pipeline, or anybody in the meeting can type. So this is loop components. Currently, I'm showing this in meeting. But this is not only restricted to meeting. Also notice it calculated a sum. And if you want, it'll give you count and average. This is collaboration on steroids. All of you have access to this. And hardly a single company I know which has made a standard operating procedure of this. So I would say, from my point of view, the biggest success criteria of this session would be all of you go back, teach this to people around you, and implement it across your organization. And tell me whether you liked it and what was the impact. Because I do these sessions by the hundreds, literally, but I still don't see the accrual happening. Potential, everyone is happy with, but accrual is the problem. That requires you to standardize new ways of working. Now, all this collaboration is great, but there is a problem. Everyone can edit everything. So someone wrote 5%, now I am saying 12%. It does not give me any warning, it just changes. Now that's very dangerous, because agreed we like collaboration, but this is very dangerous, and accountability is equally important. So now what do I do? Nothing. That has already been thought of. Whenever I click on anything in any loop component, a small pop-up comes to tell you who has written it. So this was written by Nitin. The word July, August was written by Nitin. If I scroll on this side, this word was written by assistant. So it knows that. So same way, if I click on this sentence, it says this particular thing was written by Nitin +1. So when I open this, it's showing me both the names. And now I take the mouse cursor on Nitin, it tells me, you see those vertical bars? These are the parts which Nitin has written. Increase pricing by Nitin has written. Percent sign Nitin has written. And if I hover assistant, the word 12 is written by assistant. And behind the scenes, it must have created 2 or 3 versions already. Behind the scenes, it's a SharePoint file. So full accountability and audit trail. And finally, this is a meeting. So what do we want to do? Action items. So let's say finalize. And I'm giving this to assistant. So let's say @assistant. If there is any permission problem, it will tell you. You can even give this task to someone who is not in the meeting. So I can say there are only 2 people in this meeting right now. And print, or rather publish video, whatever. And here I want to ask my salesperson to do it, but this person is not here. No problem. It understands that this person is not in the meeting, so will not have permission. And then it just goes and gives permissions. Simple, easy, effective. So this is what I mean, revolution. And at any point of time, if I want to know based on the action items, are there any, based on the agenda and discussion, have we missed adding any action items? Copilot will help you. So to recap, during the meeting, these are the different things it can do. And this conversation will continue to be private. And after the meeting is over, whatever conversation people did with the Copilot during the meeting is no longer available. So full privacy is maintained. So now let's close this meeting and see what happens later. So I'm going to say end meeting. No, not this meeting, this demo meeting. And now when the meeting is over, both of them will come out of the meeting. And then the job of Copilot is not yet over. Copilot is still there to help you. Why? Because after the meeting, even if you have transcript, someone is going to spend extra time reformatting it, rearranging it, rewording it into a formal minutes of meeting. Now this meeting just got over. It'll take a little while for it to generate it. So if it is a 1 hour meeting, typically it takes around 1 hour to generate the recap. Earlier, without Copilot, you used to get transcript, attendance, and video. That's it. Now it generates a recap, which is absolutely mind boggling. So, what does it do? It has first of all looked at who spoke for how long. This is called intelligent recap. And it has actually given me sort of a scatter plot kind of thing, where one line is Nitin, one line is the other user. Whoever has written, they will get one bar chart there. And then wherever they have spoken. So it actually shows you how this discussion happened. If someone was hogging the limelight, it will be visible. If there were too many discussions, it will be visible. Now, there's nothing good or bad. If it was a sort of a debate for pricing, this is a good thing. If it was training, this is a bad thing. That means too many interruptions happen. So on. But you get a visual picture. So on the right side, it has properly created a minutes of meeting from a verbatim transcript and whatever notes were shared. This all happens completely out of the box. You don't have to click a single button. Just finish the meeting, end of story. Not only that, based on what was discussed, it created a list of topics. This is not the topic list which I had put as agenda, because very often something else happens. And these topics also, how long was spent on each, it is showing you as a stacked bar chart. It's not just a color-coded chart. If I click on the green one, it is going to take the video to that point in time and it will start playing from there. So look at the level of sophistication and simplicity of use. As though this is not enough, after the meeting is over, the Copilot is still alive for further interaction. Why would I want to go to Copilot after the meeting? Because maybe I attended the meeting 6 months back and now there is a confusion, ambiguity, dispute, and I want to clarify what happened. I can ask Copilot. That's one scenario. Another one is, I did not attend the meeting, but I know it is important. So rather than just looking at minutes of the meeting, I also want to ask some questions to Copilot. The only other way of doing that is catch word of someone, preferably the organizer, and ask them, again wasting time. So here, apart from looking at the minutes, I can actually ask further questions about the meeting to Copilot. So here I have asked, are there any specific action items for me? There was a purpose for the meeting, customer was attending. So it's saying, what did that customer want? And whoever, did we handle it properly? Now you would have expected a yes-no answer. No, it's actually giving details of what was discussed. Maybe this was not a part of minutes of meeting, but it has all the context and it's really adding value. And then the whole thing is going to be available to all the meeting participants who have Copilot till the meeting is alive. Now, how long to retain it? I strongly suggest the retention period for chat, meetings, channels should be the same as retention period for email because both are part of corporate communication. I have seen many customers do the mistake of deleting this chats and channels and meeting things after 30, 60 days. No, that's corporate communication. It's in your interest to keep it as long as you keep rest of corporate communication. So this is how everything in the meeting can completely get transformed. But remember, what we did is we also gave action items. Now, if action items were there and I attended many meetings in the month, I want to know my action items. Obviously, I should not be required to go to each meeting one by one, double click, scroll down. Bad, inefficient. So that's not expected. You go to To-Do or Planner app. It's available on mobile, browser, wherever. And then when you go there, in the To-Do app, you will have two types of tasks. My task, that means tasks I have given to myself. And in this context, the important one, assigned to me. Assigned to me means what? Tasks which were assigned to me here. So in meetings, across chats, across channels. Because the loop component which we used in the meeting, for tasks was called tasks. And that loop component is available not just in meetings, also in chat, also in email, also in channels and Word. So loop components are pervasive. You can use them wherever you want them to be. And then you get a better visibility in a single place of your entire workload. And that's exactly what we want. Less effort, more impact, better clarity, and faster execution. Now, as though this is not enough, one aspect of meetings is whiteboard. So if you have a whiteboard, what can you do with it? Well, first of all, start using whiteboard because it's an amazing tool. It's an integral part of Teams. And then during whiteboard, you can put ideas. But if you don't have ideas, because very often what happens, there is a brainstorming. Initially, everyone is a little guarded till everyone understands and gets into the mood. So maybe you want to start off with some ideas. So there is Copilot in whiteboard as well. You can say ideas for whatever topic you have in mind. So in this case, I'm asking for improving adoption of Copilot itself. And it gives you ideas. It's of course iterative. You need not accept all ideas. You can choose the ones you like, remove the ones you don't like, iterate with it, give suggestions. And now when you add ideas, how it add ideas is also important. If I had asked this question in PowerPoint, it would have added as slides. In Word, it would have added as bullets. This is whiteboard, so it does neither. It adds them as a grid of sticky notes because that's what we do in whiteboarding. So now I have ideas. Now I allow people who are in the meeting to participate, and then they can actually vote. So in a transparent, open manner, very quickly, I did ideation and consensus building. So whiteboard is another collaborative aspect of Copilot. So like that, we have Copilot, and there's a loop app itself. In the loop app, again, ideation, action items, you have Copilot. OneNote is another thing many people use. So in OneNote, also, now we have Copilot, which can work in two contexts. It creates things from scratch like it does for Word, Excel, PowerPoint, or it also allows you to create something from scratch. So let me show you one thing in OneNote. Remember, OneNote can also be shared. In fact, many people don't know that when you create a team in Teams, a OneNote notebook automatically gets created in the underlying SharePoint site. So if people in that team for that project want to use a shared note-taking software, OneNote is already there. And that can be synced to your OneNote on mobile as well as desktop. So can be worked on offline. So this is OneNote. And in OneNote, of course, we have Copilot. And this Copilot is similar to what we do in Word. The only difference is this is free form. OneNote is more free form. So it'll allow you to create ideas, checklist, action items based on what you want. So three things: create stuff, understand what is already written, edit something which is already there, and ask questions about what is happening. So that's another aspect of collaboration. So based on all this, I'm going to close in a few minutes. What is the conclusion? Every aspect of collaboration can be improved by using Copilot. And who can benefit from it? Well, like I have been talking about, it's not only for juniors or seniors or leadership or management. Everyone should be using it because everyone has some use cases where Copilot will add value. So the concept is very important. You may buy it in few copies, but how do you deploy those copies? Give it to a cohesive team, department, unit at all levels so that you can see the overall impact on all the processes of that unit or project or team or department. What I've seen is people buy some copies and randomly scatter them across the organization. Then there is no sense of common purpose. So everyone will do some trial and error and it doesn't generally give you the desired impact. So put it in a cohesive manner, learn, apply it to context, standardize, create SOPs, and continue this process. So with that, you can improve individual, organizational, and team productivity very effectively. So with that, I'm going to close the main session. So that's it. Thank you.